I'm a little out of practice. Missed that one. Missed that one badly. What's happening, everybody? Happy Sunday, man. It's been too long. How's everybody doing? It's pixel season. I gotta be careful about saying pixel in the title because I end up with a lot of people expecting like news about some Google phone, and then they get mad when that's not what I talk about. How's everybody doing? What's up? Who is first? Juan and Ken and Nicholas Rutledge. How's it going? Joel's here, even though he tries to hide his name all the time. Mr. Fixers, Jason. All right, what's the subject of the day? We are going pixels, Juan. Pixels, pixels, pixels. And by pixels, I mean flashy lights, not Google phones. I am into it. I am into pixels and into my house display like I have not been in a long time. And it's fun. I am enjoying it. I need to finish setting up one more thing here. Hold on a second. Oh gosh. There we go. Oh man. Hey, all right, Sir Good Enough's here. First time hanging out live. Hello, Dennis. You know what we do when somebody comes for the first time? We play a funny little thing. It can be all kinds of different things. We can talk football too, of course. I'm guessing that means starting over. Yes, that does mean starting over, James. And starting over with so many lessons learned. So what I really want to focus on while we talk today is the things that I've learned and the things that I'm going to do differently, or the things I'm going to change when I actually put it all back together this time around. And yeah, that actually means xLights show, Nick. That does mean xLights show. All right, hold on a second here. I'm still goofing around, getting things set up. Doopity doop boop boop. You guys, who has a pixel show? How many of you have pixel shows? Interested to see how much starting over costs. We can kind of budget it as we go. Night Eyes. We could think about it as we go and give an idea. I'm interested to see what do you guys that do have a lot of pixels and a show and such. What is your normal? What is your expected price for pixels? I was kind of, hey, DrZzs is here, fantastic. What is your expected price for pixels? What do you expect to pay when you buy them? I'm interested to hear what that number is. Marsh. Currently installing lights on the house today. James, fantastic. Lights on the house is awesome, man. Okay. I think I'm ready to focus now. Are they cheaper this year? Oh, that's good. I guess that's a good point, is that they're not always going to be the same, right? Not always going to be the same. Before we get going too far, let me tell you guys about something that, so the Sphere. Let's talk Sphere for a second. So the Sphere is working great. And I've got my little show going. And that, honestly, all you had to do to get me to do an xLights real pixel show was to have me build a Sphere. Because once I had the Sphere and I started playing with xLights, I'm like, oh, the rest of my house is so bare. Now I got to go nuts. Yesterday, I can't believe this is true, but it is. Yesterday, I added, I think it's about 800 lights to my house yesterday, just by going around windows. I'll show you some pictures. I got some pictures of it. But what I wanted to tell you was, so we're still working on version 2 of the Atlas of the Sphere, and version 2 is small and it uses LED strips and it's 3D printable. So John's got it almost built. We just got the strips of LEDs. We had to buy a bunch of ones that are like 10 millimeter spacing. So we just got those in this week. John's working on building the rest of the thing and putting it all together. We're waiting for some special wire connectors that we ordered to put that together. So but that'll be coming in the next few weeks. And then we have another surprise too. We kind of went crazy and got something else that we'll show you another time. But basically that's what we're calling version 3. Another pixel sphere. Not really pixel sphere, really. It's the panel sphere, but we'll show it to you. It'll be cool. So we're doing that. That's still going strong. John's working on that. John's also working on, you guys remember those nano leaf lights? Good 220 there just for the windows, probably. I don't know how much it was. That's a good. So I broke the cardinal rule of being an LED parts supplier or having access to LED stuff like this. Don't get high on your own supply. So right now I'm getting high on my own supply. I am just boxes of LEDs and track and oh my gosh. So, but it's good. You know, it's fun. And I guess it's not really, I shouldn't say it's not addictive because it is. And then I wanted to share as well that John has done a bunch of work. Hopefully he's okay for me to show this. John has done a bunch of work revamping the Patreon. So we're going to do a better job. We're going to do a better job of keeping up. John has taken it on himself. I don't want to give him too much pressure, but he's willing to work on the Patreon page and make sure people get the rewards that they sign up for and all that kind of stuff. So thanks, DrZzs, for working so hard on that and making it awesome. And if you guys are considering supporting, this is a great way to do it. And we're going to do some fun stuff with the perks and all. So stay tuned. All right. Now, watching the VOD of this stream. Literally wiring my lights right now with the awesome Phil. Hey, if you run into troubles, this is a great time. Anybody who is going to be putting up lights on their house this season, do it on Sunday so that you can tune into the live stream and get help and get support. All right. So let's start with a few things of my starting over list. I haven't made the list yet. There's not like a really good place for notes on this on Windows, is there? Where should I make like notes? Just Notepad? Notepad is lame. But anyways, we're gonna make a list on Notepad. That seems so dumb. Let's do it this way. Let me try something else. I can just add text to the thing here. Yeah, text. We're going to say lessons list. I'm going to call it. All right. So just so you guys see what I'm doing, this is, it won't show you because it's OBS, and OBS blanks out its own windows. It won't show you the windows. Okay, here we go. Forgive me if I can't keep up with chat. Okay, we're going to start here. We're going to say, select the color. All right, so in the text here, we're going to say, lessons learned. Ooh, can you guys see that? Is that showing up? Oh my gosh, it's massive. Okay, great. We're going to shrink that down a little bit. And we're going to put it right over here. Lessons learned. Okay. So in no particular order, these are some of the things that I've learned that I am implementing as I redo my lights this year. Okay. I may miss some of your comments as I'm doing this, but if there's things that I should put on the list that you guys have come up with as well, let me know. The number one thing is location of the controller. And what I mean by that isn't just, what I mean by that is, let's change that to convenient. Oh, now I got to spell convenient. Oh gosh, forget it. Reachable. No. Reachable controller. There we go. Okay. So reachable controller. What that means to me is something I can get to without getting on a ladder. All right. And getting out in the weather. So reachable controller means, so my controller has been up on, I'm bouncing these stuff around, trying to find a good place to put it. Okay. My controller, accessible. Thank you very much. We'll say accessible. My controller has been, the main controller for the main lights on the front of my house has been up on the eave of the house. There's a reason for that. When I started doing this, we didn't have options. Excuse me. We didn't have like Dig Uno or Dig Quads or even the Anthem or anybody else really that had light controllers that were, that had the data booster, right? That had the built-in, what do we call it? Logic level shifter. So you had to have from your, because I was just using, remember the old D1 Mini, the little tiny ESP8266 $2 controller is what I was using. And your first LED could only be like this far from that controller or the things would start going wonky. And I mean, maybe other people knew it at the time. This was 2017, so not that many people knew it. But as time went on, I learned, and it became more widespread, that back in the caveman days, you're right, Thomas, that a logic level shifter would change that so that signal would have a higher voltage. You know, instead of being 3 volts, it'd be 5, and it would be able to go farther. So now that we have those, we can put the first LED quite a distance away from the controller. So the controller doesn't have to be right next to the LEDs. That's massive, because as much as we say this is permanent and you put it up and forget about it, you're going to want to get in there. Every once in a while, something just goes wrong. Power supplies die, controllers die, settings change. You need to troubleshoot, and troubleshooting up on a ladder sucks. So the first thing that I've decided I'm going to change is I took down my box that was up on the eave. I took it down, and I want that sucker to be like somewhere between waist and chest high, under something or inside something. So in a room, somebody said wiring closet. The garage is a nice place if you can get to it. Don't stack a bunch of stuff up against it so that you can't reach it. And you got to spend 10 minutes moving stuff out of the way. But somewhere you can get to it and kind of be out of the weather for yourself. Not you still want a waterproof enclosure, because water will get in. Water will get in. Ask me about the sphere. The water does get in. So that's number one, an accessible controller location. Okay. So I'm going to put mine, I'm going to have two, but the front one is going to be down on, we have kind of a front entry porch kind of thing, and nobody really uses it. So I'm going to put it over there in the corner, and I'm going to put it at the top, like on top of the railing. So there's like a railing. I'm going to mount it there on top of the railing so that I can stand there and waist high and I can work on it, right? My next house should be LED oriented. Good. The attic, if you can get up there, Nicholas, the attic is a good place. The attic for me wouldn't be much better because I have to like climb up in a closet to get there. It's not horrible, but it's not. If I was going to go in the attic, I would go like getting the wires into the attic is a good idea. Get the wires into the attic and then drop them into a closet or someplace that you can just walk into. I would love it if I could drop it all the way into this office. For right now, I'm not gonna. It's gonna be out front for that one. So that's number one. Number two, this is a no-brainer at this point. But I'm gonna say number two is 12 volt LEDs. I have 5 volts at the time, but let's discuss 12 volts and 5 volts for a minute. But at the time when I started my house, the 5 volt lights were quite a bit cheaper than the 12 volt lights. And what a lot of you guys probably know, the 12 volt lights are really 5 volts inside. They just have circuitry in each little pixel that takes the 12 volts, drops it down to 5, and gives the actual LED the 5 volts that it's expecting. Okay, so the LED themselves, Once you tear everything else out, that LED still needs very low voltage. We just have 12 volts so that we can go farther without having to boost the voltage. Now, one thing that I've discovered, I believe, and this is anecdote, okay, this is just my experience and probably not a lot of other scientific behind it, but it makes sense. 12-volt lights, 12-volt pixels tend to fail more often than 5-volt. Whoa. That's my observation, and the reason is because it has that extra circuitry. That you know, the whatever you want to call it, the voltage divider, or sometimes it's a resistor, sometimes it's voltage regulator, you know, regulators versus resistors. People talk about it, and you know, one's better than the other, etc. But regardless of whatever it is, it can fail, right? It's just extra components, and extra components have their own failure rate. So you're adding some extra points of failure to each pixel. So 5-volt LEDs are going to be more reliable. Now, how many pixels fail? 1 out of every few hundred. So it's really pretty low rate. But when it does happen, it's a pain in the butt. Okay, I've already had, so 20,000 pixels on the sphere. At first, there was one that was bad as I was putting them on. So I was like, wow, that's pretty good. One out of 20,000 is not bad. And then another one failed. And now a third one has failed. So it just, you know, you do want to plan for the necessity of working on them. So, but still 12-volt LEDs for the lack of needing to voltage inject in most cases is probably worth it. All right. What are we working on? Continuous anon. We're working on redoing my light stuff. All right. There's some more things. So I'm going to separate. I'm going to have two kinds of lights. The front of my house is just going to be basic. It's going to be WLED. I'm actually going to do it on a Dig Octa this time, so that I have extra outputs for doing other things like windows and stuff out there. But people walking where my house is, we're on a cul-de-sac. And so having a light show at the front of the house on a cul-de-sac, it's kind of a bad idea to me. It's a bad idea because you got more neighbors that are facing your house that are going to be bothered potentially by the lights flashing all the time. And the even bigger problem is the traffic. So if you've got people coming through to see what you're doing with your show, what you want them to do, and you're on a cul-de-sac, you're going to have a traffic jam. So the front of my house is going to just be regular WLED holiday lights like I've always had. For us, we're fortunate in the back of the house, we have a big park. So there's really nobody for a long ways. It's a 5-acre park. So there's houses, but they're all around the park. So they're a lot further away. So that's the side of the house. The back side of the house is the side we're going to put the show on. So for the back side of the house, I'm going to have a different controller. It's going to be one of these Culp controllers. So I've got another Culp 32 over here, and I'm going to put it on the back of the house. Rambosa says, build a spherical cost. How do you make the Octa work with Falcon Pi Player? So what I will do, Nicholas, if I want to include the front of the house, I'll just do the DDP communication between the Falcon and the Octa. So I can set this up as a controller with DDP. I'm not going to do that right away, but I could do that if I wanted to. All right. That brings me to another point here. So the connection. So I'm going to say use Ethernet or how do I want to say it? The external Wi-Fi antenna. What happened? Strict keys. What the frick? Must have been holding something down too long. Okay. Or external Wi-Fi antenna. Because you want your signal to be nice and strong, especially this thing is going to be on the outside of your house or wherever it's going to be. You want your connection to be reliable. Having a crappy connection and needing to sort out what's going on with your connection all the time is a real pain. You don't want to deal with it. if at all possible, run an Ethernet cable to your controller. All right. With the Octa, I'll be able to do that. With the Falcon Pi player on the Culp, I'll be able to do that. So when possible, run your stuff on Ethernet. Okay. What were some of the other things I was thinking about doing? Well, what other lessons? What other things are important for you guys, do you think? I should have written this down as I was thinking about it over the past week, but we can leave this list and I can come back and edit it some more. Make sure your controller's accessible, 12 volt LEDs. I'm going to use make it look good. Make it look good. Like when the J channel and all, it's not bad, but it could be better. It could be a lot better. I'm going to show you some pictures of what I did on the back of the house. And I think it looks pretty good. Like there's not a lot of crazy, the things aren't like twisted. Like I was looking at the J channel that's up on the very, very top highest part of my roof, which is going to be a real pain in the butt to change. And, that stuff warps a little bit. It's real thin plastic, so it kind of bends and twists a little bit. It's cheap and it's good, but if you can get something better and you pick whatever track you like, or make your own track, whatever, but something that makes the lights nice and easy. Strips or pixels, Nick says. You want to have the pixels versus strips debate? Am I going to run a show network or run it on my home network? Marshmallow says. I'm going to just run it on my home network. Tell me why I should have a separate network for the show. I'm just going to run it on my own network, but tell me why I should. If you could do all the pre-molded connectors with various pre-molded extension cables is nice too. So connections, secure connections. That's a good point. Stubbs. And so a lot of my connections are just wire nuts, maybe with a little hot glue in there, or in some cases they're just twisted wires together and electrical tape. It's worked, but I'm just lucky. I've just been lucky. You want secure waterproof connections for sure. Let's add well, we'll just call that secure connections, because it's going to be X-Connect connectors are great. X-Connect has become pretty universal. There's actually a mini X-Connect. So yesterday, as I was putting up these lights around my windows in the back, it's hard to fit X-Connect into the track. The track is just not very big. There are mini X-Connect connectors, and I believe we're going to start getting some of those with Permatrack pixels, but we'll see. I did a strip around my windows and arch and pixels for mini trees. Thank you, Nick, for supporting strips a little bit. So there are times where I think strips are necessary. I know friends don't let friends use strips, but I've had strips on my castle for probably 4 years now, at least 3, and they're pretty good. They've been working. I know they're painful to fix, but they've been working pretty well. And they're just the IP65, which is the silicone encased ones, not the ones that have the sleeve on the outside, but they're just the case. And they've worked pretty well. The only places I have troubles on those are a few places where it's bent real bad, and I think it's kind of deteriorated, and the connection has gotten a little wet. But for the most part, it's working fine. And I'm going to admit this right now. I'm going to use strips for a couple things on my new layout. Okay. Should we look at the new layout? You guys want to look at the new layout? Of course you do. Okay. And we'll go in. Let me start up xLights too, because we'll play with xLights too while we're doing this. But for now, this is my layout. Can you see it? Can you see it all? Okay. This is my new layout for the backyard. Okay. Do they stay stuck or fall off? Great points are good enough. They do fall off in a lot of places. What I've done is there's a lot of different kinds of small like clips, little retaining clips with a tiny screw. And those have worked pretty well. Those can also get brittle and break, but they work pretty well. So I've used a combination. I stick them on, and then put a few of those retractor or those connector things on there to hold them in. All right, xLights is starting up and it wants to take over everything. We are gonna skip this time. We're gonna close this down for now. Okay. Not in a channel with a diffuser, they don't. That's true. That's true. Part of my plan involves curved surfaces, Steve. I've been looking at, and maybe you guys can help me find something better, but I've been looking for something that I can use on a curved surface. So let's talk about my layout for a minute here, okay? This is my xLights layout. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, we could talk about this. I'm going to put lights along the bottom of this stairs here. These are stairs, deck steps that come down. Let's see, can we zoom in? Yeah, we can. Oh, this is great. Okay. I'm going to do this tonight when we're done. So I'm going to have stuff go along here. Now, I don't want it to be super visible because I don't want to take any of this down. I don't want to take any of it down. And yeah, that means the outlines of the windows and everything. I don't want to take anything down. I want to keep it. All right. Put strips inside of white PEX like arches. I've thought about that. Maybe that's right. What are you going to do with that besides cut that tree down? I actually trimmed up the tree pretty good. I'll show you some pictures I just took this morning, and I've actually chopped the heck out of that tree. I probably gave it about a 50% reduction in total volume. This is a picture I took. Look, this is a picture I took before the sphere was even finished, right? So I took this to plan out all this stuff weeks and weeks ago. Now, let's talk about this. There's a tiny lip. Okay, this is deck. It's like Trek's deck. And there's a piece this way, and then there's a piece this way. It's the step that kind of just overhangs a little bit, right? And in that kind of just little overhang is where I want to put the lights. Now, a couple years ago now, I put those pebble. Now we're calling them pebble. I called them pixie lights because I didn't know they had another name at the time. Maybe they didn't. They had back then, the first time that those were available, that I saw them, they had solid wires that were covered in some sort of lacquer, and they said they were IP65 rated. Should have known better. They were not. They are totally rusted, and they haven't worked for more than, I think they lasted one rainstorm or one snowstorm, and that was it. So those pebble lights, and then I was looking at them as an option, as an alternative to strips. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you real quick. I can show you does everybody know the pebble lights? Probably not. So let's look at the pebble lights real quick. I'll show you what some of them look like. Okay. So these are these pebble lights, all right? They, in theory, they're pretty good. Now, they have done a better job lately of first making more options for how far apart they are. The first ones that I had, they were about 10 centimeters apart. Now they've got them, these are 5 apart, but they've got them that are even closer together. And they are completely encased in like a semi-opaque resin. So these are really hard. Like, so like the actual light inside there is really pretty secure. Now, issues with these. The nice thing, these wires now you can splice these, but when I turned these on last night to look at them really closely, they weren't real stable. They were just kind of like maybe just flickering and sort of just hesitating a little bit. So I think that maybe because these are so small, maybe there's something with the circuitry or something in there in the actual LED that makes it not quite as good. I don't know, but I'm not going to use these as much as I thought I was, at least initially. I think these might be good for like wrapping in the trees or something else. I don't know yet, but I was going to use these under the lip of that deck, but now I've decided I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put those under that. Sorry, was it out of focus? Sorry. And now I put away the other ones that I was going to use instead. But anyways, I've got some instead. What I'm going to use, I am going to do this. I know you guys say friends don't let friends, but I am going to use these. These are the ones I was talking about that are the IP65 strips. And when I went and looked at my castle, what I did was I cut them at the copper, and then I soldered wire. I think I dolloped some hot glue on there, and then I put a piece of heat shrink over them, and then I just made sure that when I secured them that stayed straight, that wire, because if you solder onto these pads, you can solder onto the pads, but then if you start yanking that wire around, it's not going to take very much to evulse that that pad right off. Now, let me tell you about some things that I got that I've been disappointed in. I tried them out last night. I'm going to keep giving them a try, but I don't think they're going to be as good as I had hoped that they would be. So we've seen these kind of little click-it things, right? These little click-it things, these particular ones are made so that one end is supposed to go on an IP65 strip like this. And then the other end is for wires. Sorry about the focus on this. So what I was hoping I could do is just clip this on here, clip some wires in there, and rather than solder it, just have this nice clipped on. It's supposed to be, these ones don't have the gel in there. I know they don't. So it's not really going to be waterproof. But anyways, I tried that last night, and I probably tried about 3 or 4 of these and had very poor success. Avulse is a good medical term, isn't it? It's a very painful medical term. But anyways, I tried these and was very not impressed with the results. And I can't have this thing be all wonky and not working and going out and all that stuff. So I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to do what I did on my castle, which is I'm going to count out how many of these LEDs I want, and then I'm going to cut them, and I'm going to solder them, and I'm going to seal up the ends real good. And it's unfortunate that we don't have a more reliable clip. Like Rambozo said, they're never reliable. It's unfortunate we don't have a more reliable clip. Hopefully whoever's smart enough to work on that will do a better job. But yeah, so far they have not been super reliable. So anyways, these are going to be strips. These are going to be 5-volt strips. Now that brings up another point. This whole back here, ClickIt's version 2 have been getting better reviews. Okay, good. I might try those. Peacock, because ClickIt's version 1, I've had good results, but not perfect results. Right? So on the sphere, I told you I've had 3 pixels go out on the sphere. I've repaired all 3 with ClickIt's. The first 2 have been fine. The third one, not so much. I got to go figure it out and fix it again. And that sucks, because the worst than doing something once is doing it twice. Wago makes a gel connector. Do they, Robert? Do they clip onto an LED strip? Or do they just wire? Actually, well, if Wago makes a wire connection, that's an interesting idea. There's some crazy stuff out there. I don't want to get too expensive. Let me find the one I'm looking for here. So I have these. I've been using these, and I like these, but these things, they usually come with, this one doesn't have one in it. They usually come with a connector piece in there, and then they seal up real good. But this is super bulky, right? But this is not the only size available. Look at this. Looky this. I have not actually even figured out how to use this thing yet, but it has a little wire connector in there. I was just playing with this the other day. I bought them a long time ago. I don't even know for sure how you get them to go out and how you connect the wires in there. There you go. Pop that out. Okay, so then this thing, I'm sure you slip the wire through here. Well, make sure you got the wires got to go through all of this, right? So put the wire through all of this, and then I wonder if this opens up or if you just stuff them in there. I don't know. You stuff the wires in there. Same thing on the other side. Stuff the wires in there, and then screw this whole thing together. And it's not too bulky, and doggone it, it ought to be pretty secure, right? These, I don't remember what these cost. My guess is these are between 50 cents and $1 each. So it's kind of a lot, if you ask me. And it's not, I mean, the Clickets are so quick. I just wish they worked better. Called the Wago Gel Box, huh? Okay. General purpose for electrical. You place your exposed part inside the connector. This one here looks like the best by far, DJ. Yeah. These are just AliExpress from forever ago. I don't even remember. Somebody can go look, go poke around AliExpress while we're chatting and put a link with us. Scotch locks. Ooh, what's that, Joel? What's that? All right. Back to my layout here for a minute. Boop. All right. So we're going to put strips along here. And then the other part that's got me somewhat stumped is these rails. Now, you can't really see it there. So let's look at some of these other pictures. Let's see if I got a good picture of the railing. Yeah. So look at the railing here. Don't focus on the other stuff that I haven't talked about yet. But look at these rails. What I want is lights down these rails. And I want this to basically be like a widespread matrix. All right. Not maybe where it will, you won't be able to see a picture so much, but I think if I could go down these with some lights, it would look really cool as sort of a big, long matrix things, right? So, but the problem is these are bent. All right. Look at the shape. The shape on those are bent. So, and the way they look, like I can't do pixel strip. I think because it would look horrible. You'd have tons of wires everywhere. And no, just can't do pixel strips. What would be great is if I could just drill a bunch of 12 millimeter holes in this and then poke pixels through it. But no, not going to do that either. The wife would not approve. Chroma mesh from the railing. I want it to stay up all year, and I want it to look. Anyways, I want it to sort of be not super noticeable. So bend them back. I was not thinking about pixels when we had this done, or I would have done it different. But anyways, my goal is, after looking at, thinking can't do pixels, I don't want to do the pebbles. I thought about the pebble lights. I'm going to do strips down these. And then I'm just going to go wire from here to here. You can't see down there, but I'm going to go wire from there to there, and then back up, and then wire from there to there, and then down, and wire from there to there, and up, and just make it a matrix. That's the plan. Whew. But then, so you can tell me all the things that are wrong with that plan. If there was something, what I was looking for, I was looking on AliExpress last night. Maybe you guys can help me find something better. So we have the square pixels, right? And there are different size pucks. If I could find, even if it was just square pixels with adhesive, with black wire, that I could just go from here, and just, because I don't even need them that close together, just spaced out. But just to stick them on there with black wire in between them all the way down would be great. I was looking last night, and I was looking for like maybe a small puck, the puck lights, but a small one, or the square pixels, but not with holes for mounting, but just with like a little bit of double-sided adhesive on them or something. So for now, the plan is strips, LED strips on there. We'll see how that goes. Okay, let's go back to my original plan for a minute, and then we'll go into we'll show you, go back to those pictures and talk about them. So outlines of windows. So this is a great use for track. Now you can call it permatrack. I hate to be like a shill, but it is, something we came up with and we like, and we want to sell a lot of it, but whatever. So That's what I'm using is Permatrack. Some of what I'm using is the Permatrack that we sell. A lot of it is Permatrack we're not really selling, but we still have that Canadian stuff. We have a lot of it, so I'm going to use a lot of that. And this was an interesting thing because to do this outline, I had each of these windows has not really a frame at all around it, but there's a little bit. But rather than, think about how many lights that would have been if I had to go around the inside of each of these. So all the way around the inside of this window, all the way around the inside of this window, all the way around the inside of this window. I mean, that's a lot of lights, right? Rasby says, I was trying Rasby. I've tried it. I've tried the wake word thing, and it didn't work right away for me. And so after spending a little bit of time on it, I put it aside, and it's pixel season, so I'll have to get to it after. But if you get it working, let me know, because I want it to work badly, but it didn't work for me so far. All right. So back to this now. What we ended up doing, so this is what I was talking about. So you've got these lights, and me and the Pixel Heads were talking about this a lot this week. Isn't that a beautiful view, by the way? Just look at that. That's the reflection. Man, that's nice. Blessed to live where we live. So I could have gone around, this frame here on the inside, but that's just so many. And then we're going to be wires jumping across here and stuff. So this is what we came up with, and I think it turned out really pretty good. But what we had to do here, because how do you wire this, right? This has to be, we want these to be individually addressable. This is not a situation where, we want them all to do the same thing. We can't go all in a line. So what this is actually 4 different outputs from the controller. Okay. The first one goes all the way up here, and then over here and down here and back here. That's how the pixels go. That's the pixel light, the pixel wiring. The second one, you can't see because this stuff's in the way, but the second one goes across the bottom, and then it goes up here, and then to the right, and then up, and then to the left. And if you look at that, I didn't cut the track for that. I put those lights in and then put the track up. So it was kind of I've got some footage of it from yesterday when I was doing it. So it was kind of a wonky, little cumbersome process to get that done, but that's what I did. And this is all held on with mounts. So the Permatrack mounts that we have. And I just got a little concrete drill bit and some concrete screws and just went through the stucco. And then I put a little bit of silicone in there so that, since we kind of breached a bit of a water barrier, not the only water barrier, but a little bit. So I put a little silicone in each hole where I put the screws in. So hopefully that'll help a little bit with keep the water out. And then the last one starts over here, and it goes up and over and up and over. And then, that was the third one, sorry. And then the last one just does this last corner. But that's how we got all those done, and we got them all done with 4 different outputs off of the controller. And my Culp controller is going to sit like right over here. It's going to be right next to like the barbecue and stuff over here. And I'll probably make it so that it goes under this deck, but I can bring it up and put it on top. Amazing reflection. Promise it's not photoshopped. I'm just jealous of your view. Yeah, thanks. I love the view. And that view, that's what I see when I roll down my window shades right here at the office. So we live in a wonderful place, wonderful, blessed place. So, okay. I was worried about how this was going to look, and so was Mrs. Z's. But after I got it up, I think it looks pretty good. And especially from kind of a distance away, like I'm okay leaving this up. Like I was worried and going to take it down, and I think it looks really good. So very, very happy with that. And then I did this window over here as well. Used the same kind of stuff. The nice part about this, these were 6-foot lengths, and this is 6 foot by 6 foot. So I didn't have to cut anything on this one. I just put it all the way around there. So that's this window and these windows. And then I think what else are pictures? Oh, I just got a couple of close-up pictures of that. So that's just that one. You can kind of see there's a little bit of exposed stuff here, but shouldn't be too bad. I might try and fill that with something or cover it with something. We'll color match the puck track using DAL codes. Really? Yeah, I want it now. I don't want to wait. And then I think this is just the last one. Yeah, so this is just so you could see the bottom of it too. It looks really good, right? It looks really good. I did that yesterday. I did that took me about 8 hours. Part of that 8 hours though was wasted trying to paint the track to match the house. And I got some spray paint and I painted it and it didn't match. And not only did it not match, it looked worse. At least this color, it kind of matches the rest of the accent colors, like the gutters and stuff, and this table and the deck. So having this color was better than having a color that was trying to be close to this, but was off. So that's what we went with. And I think it looks great. Okay. So I actually did this one as well. I didn't take any pictures of it, but I did this one as well. And then this one, it's going to take some work, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to, for now, leave these. These are 12-volt lights along here. And these are 12-volt lights along here. This I want to do. The roof, guys. The roof. How many of you guys do your ridge lines like that? 3D print some corners? Yeah, that's what I need to do. 3D print some caps, right? How many of you guys do the ridge line on the roof? I like that. I've seen some people do it, and I actually like it. What do you guys think? And for those of you that do it, how do you mount that how do you mount something up there? I mean, I hesitate a little bit to drill screws into my roof, but I want to. So what do you guys do? Tell me. Joel doesn't do heights. Value your life too much? I'm willing to do it. I got good insurance. Especially back there to add more display space, right? I think it really makes it look cool from a distance. So what do you think? Tough to get to? 4-inch drywall screws? There are 3D printed clips for this? For the roof? Is that what you mean, Joel, or something else? You guys are no help at all. Send the wife up. 4-inch. I don't. That's true. I know who to call if I slide off the roof. I will use a rope. I will tie a rope to something. When I did my pixels the first time, I tied a rope around myself and around the trailer hitch on our van up and over the roof. In the sunny UK. SFL. So SFL, he does have some, huh? Okay. So nothing special. I know. So we've had in the past some snow melt. And the snow melt had these little clips that kind of clipped onto the shingles. I was considering something like that. I mean, I want to put Permatrack up there is my plan. Until when it jumps in the van to go to the store. No, wait, I got to untie this. No, that'll be bad. That'd be really, really bad. Well, I'm going to put Permatrack up there. So what I need to do is be able to screw the mounts into these corners. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that yet, but that's what I want to do. These numbers that you see, these are the port numbers. So when I do the layout, we can go through some of that on xLights too, because it's actually not so hard. So we'll go through xLights pretty soon. All right, so next few things. This, no big deal, this window. This is going to be a P5 panel. What 12-volt DC LED strip will you use? I'm not going to use strips. I'm not going to use 12-volt strips, Grad. When I use strips, I'm just going to use 5-volt WS2812 basic simple, cheap as you can get. IP65, so that you can cut them and splice them a little bit better and a little bit easier than the IP67s, which are the ones in the sleeve. Do you think that would work, Robert? Do you think JB Weld would work? All I have to weld, or all I have to like get to stick, are the mounts. If you're doing Permatrack, only need like 4 mounts that are secure and seal them. I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing, probably, Sir Goodenough. I like this idea of gluing them. 12-volt strips are 3 LED groups. Usually they are. They do have some, like is it the 13s or the 15s? WS2813 or WS2815, something like that. They are, I don't remember which ones are which. One of them is, they have backup data lines. So they have 4 wires instead of 3. And they are 12 volts, but I wouldn't do it. Weld the mounts. Should be easy to test. That's a great idea, Robert. Thank you. Yes. All right. For Robert, let's do this. This for you, Robert, for so far making the best suggestion of the day. Make sure they're strong enough to stand up to the snow melt in the spring. Yeah. I like this idea of JB Weld. Let's see. Marsh is the king of gluing things. I don't think glue is the answer. It might be worth a try. It may be worth a try. Maybe it's going to end up being a asphalt is not something to epoxy to. Okay. Well, maybe, the sealing of the sealing of the mounts, like I could, if I put a bunch of goo, whatever kind, JB Weld or some other goo, under the mounts and then put screws into the mounts, that way I get the added strength of the glue and I get the weatherproofing of the glue. And then I get the screw all the way into the wood to mount them. When we've got asphalt shingles up there, when we put asphalt shingles on the corners like that, like how thick is that before you get down to the wood? Ice will pull it off. Glue is safe to try. It's not going to leak. Too brittle. Roof cement is made for that. Roof cement. Okay. Well, I don't know that it's going to, like the snow. So think about the way that the snow would try and push, right? If it's on the ridge like that, the ridges are like the first things to, I mean, I don't know, I don't feel like the snow is going to be pushing against the track. If the track were perpendicular to the snow, the snow's coming down this way and hitting the track and pushing it, then maybe. But the track's going to be like this, and the snow's going to come like this. So I don't think there's going to be that much pressure on it. Is it not best to use 12 volt and not 5 volt? Can you show or send us a link to the LEDs you like to use? These guys can drop some links in there about stuff. BTF Lighting is a good, reliable company when it comes to strips. These are not BTF Lighting because I wanted these today and BTF couldn't get them here today. So I bought a different brand. It probably doesn't matter. I like the simple WS2812 LEDs because they're the most established, longest, the ones we've had out. People have made variations and tried to make them better. Like I said, backup data lines, making them 12 volts, etc. But those all come at a premium cost. And when it comes down to it, you don't get a better function than with these. There's also ones that have like the SK6812s, which are good, but they have a white channel. So depending on what you're using them for, if you're putting it outside like this for a show, you don't need a white channel. You just don't. You can make white, but you wouldn't make white very often. And you're far enough away that when you make white by mixing red, blue, and green, it looks fine. If you're in your house and you've got lights like under a counter or under cabinets to shine down on your counter or something like that, then it is a benefit to have the white channel, the white specific LED in there as well, so that you get a nice white light and not a mix of red, green, and blue. Because if you mix red, green, and blue, especially when it comes to shadows, you'll see the red, green, and blue. It won't be pure white, and it won't look as good. So WS2812 are almost everything for strips. WS2811s for the pixels usually, which are they're just the I don't know, they're almost the same. They have a different RGB color order, but that's it. +1 to roof sealant or roof cement. It goes by a few names. It's the black rubbery stuff. Same stuff you use for the roof vents and satellite dishes. It's meant to go on your roof. Okay, that's what I'm going to use. That's what I'm going to use. You're welcome, Grand Mahai. Happy to help you. Yeah, and the SK6812s are great. The ones I know Quindor has done a lot of testing of a ton of different LED strips. So the ones that we have with the Dig2Go kits are 6812s from a brand that I know he likes, or those are the 5-meter ones, or the 4-meter ones that we have are WS2812s, but again, they're a brand that he really likes. Henry's is a good brand. Okay, that's one I hadn't heard of. A long time ago, I did a comparison on several different brands at the time. And there are some subtle differences. You can see some differences from time to time. You know, it just kind of, it's a little bit dependent on what your purpose is. There is 1 inch plus of asphalt there, and the truss will be in an unpredictable locations. So long screws, see them well, keep the count down. Okay, love it, sir. Good enough. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's talk for a minute about panel displays. Okay, so we're going to show people what I'm talking about. LED panel matrix. When I say panels, I'm talking about these. Okay. We'll just go ahead and go to Amazon and look at these. So they are tiny. Why isn't it going? Take me to Amazon. Take me to Amazon now. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. I would not buy these from Amazon because you're going to pay a fortune. But the idea is they are tiny, tiny, tiny little LEDs so that you can have a matrix with a whole bunch of things really stacked close together. So when you look at the back of them, I mean, this is the back of the thing. Got a bunch of integrated circuits in there to control them all. They are controlled very differently than a bunch of pixels, right? You need a special controller to manage them, which I have here for mine. But the reason that this is important for me, I want something really good like this that would be really high resolution. I've got the panels already, and I tried putting them together. I think you guys remember a year or so ago, I tried putting them together. It's probably 12 streams of Christmas last year. And the problem I ran into was I didn't have enough ribbon cable, and it has taken me a year to decide that it's high enough on the priority list to buy the ribbon cable and the connectors and stuff. So the ribbon cable is on its way. The connectors are on their way so that I will be able to start putting this together. So I want to put this big matrix together, this P5 panel matrix, and I want to put it here. Why here? Because it's a bare space. It's going to be, so the sphere is here. So it's a kind of a bare space, and it's reachable. It's accessible. I can get to it. So making things accessible is really important. If you look at where all of my connections are, the blue dots, if you can make out the blue dots, those blue dots is where the connections are, where they start. And I'm putting all of them in the most accessible places that I can. All right. So that if I need to troubleshoot the strip, I can get to the point where it starts really easily. Okay. So being able to access stuff is important, even if it's permanent, even if it's hopefully not going to have to mess with it much. Being able to access it is important. So these P5 panels are not waterproof. Boom, boom, boom. How do you connect panels to each other? Physically or by circuitry? Physically or, yeah, hardware-wise. So they have these screw holes. See those, you can see, let's see. zoom in a little bit here. Not really very well. These are screw holes. Okay, so you can put screws in those. So it requires some other piece on the outside. And what a lot of people do is they put these they screw these magnetic things in here, and then they have a metal frame. And so they attach to the metal frame, but they're just magnetic. So you just pull them off and put them on and pull them off and pull them on. Yeah, outdoor panel link. I don't know if there is an outdoor panel. Is there such a thing? What I've seen with people, and this might be something that I would have to take inside sometimes, but what I would like to see is a way to, I want to bend plexiglass. How do you bend plexiglass? Because I don't want joints if I can help it. I know you can seal joints, but boy, water will find its way in. It will find its way in. Anyways, so those are to answer your question about hardware, you can use screws in these. I don't remember what size, but you use screws in these, and then you just link the pieces together. Now, there are 3D printable links. You can do it with, whatever kind of metal or wood or something else that you want. But there's probably kits, hardware panel kits that do it. So Thomas, Kent, have you guys done those? Do you know where to get the metal frames? Ooh, I bet the Pixel Heads do. Pixel Heads, WebProve here is looking for a metal frame for the backs of these panels. Try Boscoyo. Matos Designs probably has some. I think that was kind of what well, I don't know if that's what he started with, but I know he's done a lot of metalwork stuff. Those are places that do sell props and stuff. If you're wanting outdoor panels, sounds like you need to be the designer of the Vegas Sphere, a guest on your channel. Yeah, Doomboy, we're gonna go there and talk to them. We've already made contact. We already have an inside man at the Sphere in Vegas. But what the Sphere in Vegas, if you go look at it up close, like there's videos now on YouTube. What they use on the outside, it's not like this. It doesn't look like this at all. It's pucks. It's these big pucks like this, and they're not even that close together. They're like a foot apart. So the only way it looks good is if you're like a mile away. Would love to see how we program the matrix panels. We will before the end of all this. What we'll use for the matrix is we will use xLights. We'll use xLights. There are some other matrix software that I've played with before, like what was it called, guys? Lynx? Is it LYNX or something like that? You can also do WLED. The way that these work, though, is a little bit different. So once I get this up, we'll play with it some more. Hockey puck, 49 LED pucks, 48. With a gun? Bent plastic roof panels using the heat gun. Okay, so you've done it, Kent. You did a heat gun and you just bent it. Any aquariums near you guys? Great waterproofing. There actually is an aquarium, and we're going there on Friday. We're going to go there on Friday and check it out. They have like a Halloween thing, so we're going to go to the aquarium on Friday. So I will talk to them about waterproofing, because I also think that there are some good sphere options. Like if we go, is it AliExpress? Probably not AliExpress. It's Alibaba. If we go to Alibaba, boy, everything, it logged me out of everything today. Which is a problem because I don't remember. Wait, I don't want to go here. I don't remember my Home Assistant password anymore. Does anybody know my Home Assistant password? So here we go. So there are these kinds of spherical displays, okay? And these spheres are made up of panels, made up of LED panels. All right, it's not a very good picture. I can't zoom in, but each of these sections, no, do not want you to have permission to send me notifications. Each one of these sections is a P5 panel like we're looking at here. Okay, they're like this. The difference is, a couple differences, obviously the shape. These are in specific shapes so that they can be mounted in a circle like this, in a sphere. But these are also flexible, okay? But this itself is not waterproof. This is not made to be put outside, but it ought to be. We ought to be able to melt and bend a big old piece of plastic over the top of this, right? That's what I think. I think we really ought to be able to do that. So let's try. Anyways, this is what these look like, you know. These are probably photoshopped a bit, so it's hard to trust. You know how it is. Can't trust everything you see on Alibaba. That looks totally fake. It's just a rendering. Anyways, my point is we need to be able to bend these things without... here's another cool idea. These are floor panels. Hey, where'd that go? Where'd it go? I just clicked on it and then it went away. The floor panel, they make floor panels like that too, so that you can step on. Oh, there it was. Right here. Yeah. So here's a big old floor panel, right? That's made out of the same kind of stuff. But you can walk on it. Crazy, right? So cool. Okay, where were we? We got way distracted here. Hey, Turtle's here. They show what it doesn't look like. Pour silicone resin over it. That's not a bad idea. Dip it. I mean, these are good ideas. An aquarium manufacturer can cast or bend acrylic to any shape, but it's not cheap. Gotcha. You probably have to, I mean, I imagine it's like, what's that process that they've got that does, oh gosh, heat, like, it's like heat shrink or something. I don't remember. But basically they take a piece of plastic, it's thin, and you take a part and then a vacuum something. Anyways, it heats this piece of plastic and then it pulls it down on top of the thing that you want to replicate, and then it vacuums it, right? It sucks it all in. Vacuforming, thank you. We need vacuforming, but big. We need big vacuforming. You just go, but then you do need a little bit, you do need to be able to get in there because this is electronics. Nothing's gonna last forever. What's the overall conclusion about the WS2812s that are in a wire string, the white ones I showed earlier? What's the overall of these? I want to know what you guys think. These pebbles, I really want to love them. They're not as great to use as I would like. Just when I connected them up last night, and I don't remember now what I did where I put my test rig. So I won't get it back out now, but they just were kind of not great. They weren't super bright. They weren't, not that they need to be super bright, but they just were not stable. They just kind of flickered. They're not in a way that it's like different colors, but maybe it was just sort of the refresh rate, or maybe, you know, something like that. Maybe it was the frames per second rate on them wasn't good or something like that. I don't know. The plastic would degrade over time. Color looks milky. I think that's part of the appeal. I think they're supposed to look milky. Here, I can turn them on. Now you forced me to drag them back out, so I will. Okay. All right, let's look at some of these. And I've got two strings here mixed together, so this is going to be a little bit funky. But I have here a controller. I have here a Dig2Go that somebody sent back because they said it was bad. I don't know all the time what to do because, like, all I did was plug it in and it worked. Well, I think that's all I did. I don't know. I don't remember now, but it works fine. I need a... Now, these are going to be... Okay. It's going to look weird because, you know, the camera's not going to capture it. But even now, they're like flickering. They're just not super stable. I like them. I want to like them. But they're just... I don't know. They're just flickering, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the way I've got them wired. Maybe something else is going on with them. They weren't great. It could be the wire size of the ones you have, maybe. So the ones you bought from your Pixel store weren't great either. Yeah, they're pulsing, right? Yeah, you can appreciate it there. So it kind of sucks. Could you put it in a geodesic dome? Yes, Gary. Yes, you could. DrZzs has been on a geodesic dome kick. Almost like it's 50 hertz. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I'll have to play with them some more. I like them. I really want to like them. I think that the idea of having them sealed in like this and being able to see the color from both sides, like that's the back side, that's the front side. So the back sides, you don't get the exact color spillover. You don't get quite the brightness, but because of the way that they put this resin on there, this milky resin, you do get a good bit of color from both sides. So I think these are great for like Christmas trees, or I think when I did a project with these before, I like put them in a glass ball or something and made it look like a little fairy light. Anyways, I want to like them, but that whatever they're doing, that pulsing, that kind of flickering, got to solve that. Got to solve that before it's going to be really usable. So, wonder if it's the controller. I'll tell you this. If I take that same controller and plug it in, I don't think so, because if I take that same controller and I plug it into this roll, it's not going to do it. We can stare at these for a long time and they're not going to do the same thing. That flickering that you see right there, that's from my ceiling fan. These lights themselves are not flickering at all. So, I don't know. They are IP65 rated, DJ Roscoe. Yes, they are IP65 rated. Oh, wait, is it? Oh, maybe it is. They are pulsing. Maybe it is the controller. Huh. Okay. Weird. But yeah. So maybe it could be, and I'm powering this off of it's a powered USB port extension thing that's plugged into my computer. Let's try a different power source. We're getting way off track, by the way. I want to talk more about my house and my setup. I don't see it doing it right now, but I didn't see it at first on the other ones either. Interesting. Question about the standoff and the OctaPower and brain boards. Should the threads from the brass standoffs actually cut threads into the mounting holes on the boards? I don't think so. I think there might have been two different sizes. Squirrel is right. I think there might be two different sizes, Nicholas. So power supply. Now let's go back to these others. Oh, hey man, we learn together, guys, right? I'm not the expert. I don't know everything. Oh my gosh, it's the flippin' power supply. Now that I've got them on just a straight up powered USB thing that's not connected to my computer, it's not limited in how much power it can supply, they're doing fine. Okay, woo. Well, there you go. I can now recommend these. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's go back to the house. Okay. I don't know how we got this far. Oh, we were talking about the P5 panel back there, right? We were talking about this P5 panel. So I want to put a P5 panel here, matrix with a bunch of panels, and I want it to be waterproof. So that's going to be tricky. I will definitely try the blending, the bending of the plexiglass. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do here. I'm very open to all kinds of potential ways to protect a matrix outside like this. I've seen people do, build a whole box, and I don't want to. If I'm gonna do that, I want it to be like really good, not like blah. Okay, it's got to be really good. So now that we've kind of gone through, this is the majority of the stuff. So the sphere is here. We're going to have these stairs. We're going to have window outlines. We're going to have these horizontal roof lines. We're going to have ridges on the roof. Over here, you guys can't see probably very well, is the castle. And on this castle, I've already got most of these lights in. These lights around the windows are already in. Lights around the top up here, I just kind of did this as a representation, but those lights are in. This little line here is because I got that dragon head on there, so I'm going to put some lights with him, better ones. And then I want to go under these overhangs a little bit here with some lights. These are all those 5-volt strips. So I've already got them all wired. But once again, this is another example of probably the number one lesson to learn from all this today is put your controller where it is going to be accessible. Because I put the controller for this inside the castle where I thought, oh, it'll be safe. It'll be good here. Put it in the middle. But it's in this little like crawl space in there. So anytime I have to go mess with it, I got to go in there and crawl around and mess with it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And so I just don't. So when it stops working, I don't fix it. So put your controller and as many of your accessible points, like the beginning of all of your strings and stuff, make things as accessible as possible because you're going to have to get to it. And in my experience from myself, if I don't make it accessible, if I don't make it easy to get to, when something goes wrong, I just leave it. And then now it doesn't work for months. And nobody wants that. Would have been fun to have built in to prevent condensation. A fish tank filled with 3M. Cooling at the data centers. Water will still condense in a clear in the sun. Oh man, any place that makes aquariums can make what you want. I'm going to talk to the aquarium folks. Let's play with xLights. Shall we play with xLights? Oh my gosh, you pixel heads are gonna go crazy. But here's the good news. Here's the good news about DrZzs and xLights. I know how to do it now. Like, I don't know everything. I still have to pick the pixel heads' brains quite a bit, but I know how to do stuff now. So let's do something. All right. Let's start with, let's see, I probably have a picture of my house. Did your previous lights get water damaged on the house? No, they haven't. PW, they haven't. And so I'm not going to take the lights down that I have up yet. So around the front of the house, the whole front of my house is all 5-volt lights, and it's all in the J channel. I'm not going to take that down yet. I am going to take it down eventually, but I'm not going to take it down yet. Whoa, what just happened? Oh, that's weird. Okay. This up here, this string along here is 12-volt lights that are in J channel, and actually the access point is over here, which is so dumb. Like, why did I do that? I put the place where you get, the start of the signal is over here. There's no way to access this except on a huge ladder that gets super sketchy. I have fallen off of this once. I had a ladder and I was doing something up here, and the freaking ladder went sideways and I ended up down here on the grass. Don't tell Mrs. Z's. But this is so dumb that I did that I put the access point for those lights way over here. When right here I could stand there and that's like eye level. So dumb. So anyways, I'm beating home the point. Put your required access points, make them accessible. Anyways, eventually I'll take this down. There's already some lights along here. I'm going to leave those. I'm just going to extend that back up so it goes this way and then it goes back up that way, just so I don't have to have extra ports off the output. Because this is going to be so many lights up here with Permatrack, I'm gonna use a different port for that. So I'm not taking down the lights. Ooh, clip that, you sucker. I'm not gonna take down the lights that I have up yet, but I will eventually. So they are still working. Well, the controller went bad, and I don't know exactly what went wrong with it, but it went bad, sometime this year, and it was up on the ladder and it was outside, and so I just never got up to it and did it. But if it was something I could just go walk up to and open up and work on, I would. So anyways, that's what we're doing. Build your own big clear plastic bag, right? You've DJ Roscoe not seen xLights before? What? Okay. Well, if you've seen anybody do a big old fancy show on their house, they do it with xLights. This is how you design up the show for your house. So we're gonna do we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see how this goes. I wonder how well my computer is going to be able to run stuff. So first thing we're going to do for this right now is I'm going to hide the sphere. I'm going to hide the sphere. I'm going to turn off the 3D preview over here. And then I'm going to hide these other models. Let's see. All right, so if I go in here, I'm going to make them not active. I have to do. I can't remember where that is. This is all for the sphere. So for right now, just to help my computer like not have to, oh yeah, appearance. Under appearance, I'm going to click active, take it off. So it'll hide that. Wait, what are you doing? Explain first. Sorry. Just to try and not overwhelm my computer with trying to render all this stuff at the same time. That's all. That's why I turtled, because I'm going to put the house, I'm going to go through and do the house layout here real quick. I was thinking, what do you think? I can try, I'll leave the sphere. I'll just take out those other things. Set up another show folder. Okay, fine. All right, let's do. I don't want to open sequence. Show directory, change temporarily. Okay, fine. xLights. We're going to make a new folder. And we'll call it house. But we're going to call it backyard. Okay. All right. Select folder. Save models, views, perspectives, and preset changes. Should I say yes or no? Don't you already have one that you use for the drawing? That I do. It's on my laptop because I did it at work. The Great Christmas Light Fight. I've not watched it. I have an old one for the backyard. I have an old one for the backyard. I'm going to say no. Now, I do want the atlas in there. Just needs 3 files. Okay. All right. So let's go to the layout. And first thing is a background image. Background image right here. Right here. I just don't know where I have my backup. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay it out on top of my other background image. Should I just do that? Save hiding the others. Okay. Well, I think I can go through. I think I can do it over again just to show the process. We got a half hour. What files do you need? What files, what are the files I would need to transfer? Because I haven't done that before. I'm just looking through to see if I just had an old picture of the house back here. I didn't prep this, by the way. This was not part of the, this wasn't exactly part of the plan, but since we're here, I would like to do it. RGB effect network and those two. Let's just pick this one off the desktop for now. Okay. So this is the one, this is the picture that I already have. So we're just going to kind of trace over the top of that for now. I'm just doing this more than anything out of to just walk everybody through the process a little bit. Okay. So you get a background image of your house. There you go. Great. Now we want to start laying stuff out on here. So we start making some stuff. We're going to just say save. We're going to save it a lot. So we're going to do some lines first. Lines. Okay. I wanted to put the lines on, oops. Nope. Nope. I can't slide it over my, there it goes. All right. So I'm going to put lines along the bottom down there. So we're going to go from here over to here. And we're going to name it. That's going to be the deck, stairs, bottom. And it's going to have, it's going to be about 200. No, it's not going to be 200. It's going to be 150 plus, maybe we'll say about 100 and it'll be about 180. All right. We're not going to put the port in the controller yet. Okay. So we're not going to worry about that. I think that's good. Save that one. Now we'll do another one. Next line. Crossed here. Okay. Same thing. We're going to name it. This is going to be the deck, stairs, middle. And this one's going to have not quite as many as the other ones. So we're going to say like 175. Okay. And that's it. We're not going to do the, we're not going to put the port and stuff on the controller yet because we can do the controller after. And we'll do one more line over here. Now, tell me about what you pixel heads think about the difference between a window, making a window, and just making a polyline that goes around the window. Let's talk about that. All right, these I know are going to have, this one's going to be 150. And this one's going to be deck, stairs, top. Good rule of thumb to draw your lines. You can change what end the data is coming from, but xLights rendering styles like to have left to right. Okay, should we do that? Did Uno success, 200 pixels or go. Excellent. Good job, Phil. Let's celebrate with Phil. Banana. So I can still have the data go from here, but I should make the lines go this way. Who's saying that? Marsh. All right, so I should draw the lines this way. But then over here, starting location, I'm actually going to say blue square because that's the side I'm going to connect my data on. Correct? Now, part of me is kind of wondering, do I want the lights to go all the way to the edge? Correct. Draw left to right. Okay. You guys, but look how much, like already, like even though I'm not perfect at this, look how much better I am already at this. I know how to do stuff now. I remembered. Yeah, I'm torn a little bit about because this is how the steps go. The steps are staggered like this. Stop it. The steps are staggered like this, but do I want them staggered or do I want to just go straight, end this one here, end that one there, end that one there? I don't know. What do you think? Left bottom. Window is easier sequencer than poly. Oh, the window is easier for the sequencer than doing a polyline. Okay. Those crazy arc rights. Okay. Stagger them. Okay. I joked once with my buddy to have him shoot my pixel display with a souvenir total station for ultra precision. Surveyors. I see, Tanner. And here I am just like throwing stuff out here, right? Stagger. Northwest says stagger. Okay, stagger. Okay, stagger it is. Stagger. 165, 180. Oh, 165. Thank you. All right, so let's reselect those because I did that wrong. So 150. This one should be 165. When I actually put them up there, when I actually put them on the steps, probably tonight, I will count them correct. Okay, so that's those. Now, let's do. So my question about the windows was this, because you can select a window, create a window frame, or you could just do a polyline and just go around the windows. But somebody, those crazy arc rights, says the window is easier for the sequencer to render, right? You're welcome, Phil. Woohoo. Okay, so let's do a window. That's great. We'll do window. Now, I did put, so here's a problem. I mean, I can switch this, but when I already installed this one, right? And when I did it, I put the starting point over here. So I can change that, but what do? I guess starting location, bottom right. There you go. Okay, and then the lights, oops, I'm sorry. What I have right now, I think it's like 33. And then the right and left, so this is the combination of both, right? 33. Nope. 33. Yep, that's what I've got. Okay, that's what I've got. For mapping imported sequences. Oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah, great. Use window when you can. It's all about rendering here. Okay, great. All right, so even though I drew my green dot here when I drew this, I told it that the starting point is over here because that's actually where my wire, my data in wire is going to go and where it's going to start, because I already put these up, and it's going to go clockwise. I made sure all my stuff goes clockwise. Okay, great. And we're going to call this is actually the kitchen window. Okay, great. Oops, and it looks like I didn't finish renaming this line. So this line is going to be deck, stairs, bottom. Great. Save. All right, cool. We're on a roll. Let's do some more windows. This one, oh man, I guess I could put the data there. That's probably the best place to put the data because that way I can reach out the window and grab it. So let's do this one. We're going to do this other window here. I'm going to go like this. This one I have not installed yet, so I don't know exactly how many pixels it's going to be, but it's not going to be this kind of density. Is that weird to you guys that that's how the windows? Oh, I didn't hit, it's still missing the name. Deck, stairs, bottom, top, right? There. I didn't hit enter. Okay. So this window frame here, this is going to be the office window. Why does it have it twice as many going up the sides like that? That's just weird to me. I don't know how many it's going to be going across there, but I'm going to guess it's going to be about 40 all the way around. So we're just going to do 40. Oh, actually, you know what? This is probably wider. So we're going to go 50, 40, and 50. And the starting location, we can do the starting location in the bottom left. That's fine. I did a 3-sided window for my front, put 0 for the bottom. Oh, nice. If you did bottom right on one, do bottom right on all of them. Oh, no. Really? Can even use window with one side 0. I did bottom right on 2 of them. Oh man, doing bottom right on that one's gonna suck, but I guess I can do it. I did do bottom right on this one that I know is already out there and installed, and I did it on bottom right here. So let's do bottom right on this one. We'll do it again. Whoop, whoop. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, this one, they're 6 feet. I think those were 30. Those were, I don't remember. Bottom right, and this is the dining room window. Single lines for all of them. We'll save brain ache later. Yeah. You don't count. You do lazy things all the time. Poor Stubbs. Poor Stubbs. Everybody knows this Stubbs MO. Sorry, buddy. Boy, this one I would really like the starting point to be over here, because if I had to get to it, I would want to get to it there. If I do it over here, I could install it that way. I would just want to be able to open my window and easily reach out and grab it. So I would just put a wire over here. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it that big a deal to change that window so that the starting point is over here? I'll go with whatever you guys vote. This one I have not installed yet, so I can go ahead and put the bottom right. That's fine too, because I had the bottom left over here. If your windows are staying up permanently, it won't matter start point, because it's like you'd be mixing them up in a pile. That's true. Okay. So when it comes to rendering where I put the starting point, how big of a difference is that? Put an extension cable over to the right. Yeah. Crazy lazy groups are where it's at. Window model, then submodel. Oh my gosh. Window model, then submodel the vertices and sides is the best way to save brain ache later. Ooh. See, now that's the next level. That's a level I haven't gotten to yet, the whole submodel thing. I just barely got this, and then I put a couple groups together like windows and whole house. So I haven't gotten into the submodels very much yet. All right. Yeah, you know what, actually? What is the ache? Tell me what the ache is with starting my windows in different places. It doesn't matter too much on some of this. It's not a huge thing, but Chris and a few others have found render issues later, but they aren't horrible issues with starting points. Well, if it's an issue we can avoid, I guess let's avoid it. All right, this is the bedroom window. And we're probably going to be in the same sort of range where this is about 6 feet. I think it's a little bit less. And starting location will be in the bottom right. And it's going to go clockwise. Great. All right. And then we're going to go back up here. Did I change this one? I can't remember. Bottom left. So I'll change this to bottom right. Then I'll work it out when it comes time. That's going to be the last one I do, because that's going to mean quite a bit of work up on a ladder. Really high, sketchy ladder. Not even there yet, but for my sanity, I'll just run a cord. It could render funny. Okay, the windows, now I only really have those 4 that are actual windows. So I've got them all done with the bottom right as the corner. Okay, this was fun. This one here, doing this thing, it was fun. It was tricky. So this is how we're going to do it. Polyline. I don't remember. I mean, we had several people come up with different ways that we could do this. It's like one of those games where you can't you can't cross over the line or whatever. Okay, so that's the first one. All right, so this polyline is going to be the big windows left. Now, number of nodes, I'm going to put in an estimate here because I don't know exactly. It's about 6 per foot. This thing is about 13 feet. We'll say 12. Let's give us a calculator. I have not gone out there. Oh, we could count them. We have the picture. Do you want to count them? We could count them. Let's count them. We got the pictures right here. Oops. It's going to kind of suck, but we could count them. All right, because I already, oh no, we can't see the bottom ones. Well, not in that picture we can't, but we can in this one. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Oh no, crap. I lost track because it moved. Dang it. And I can't see all the way to the top. Oh, I hate you. Oh, man. All right, well, let's guesstimate. We're going to go based on this. All right, 1, 2. We're going to just do just the one side of the window like that. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I don't want to blink. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay. Yikes. Oh my gosh. So it's 50. Is that what I just said? What did I just say? 40? 40. Yeah, 40 going up the line. Okay. So 40 and 40 and then 40 going across, I'm sure too. Try 40 going across here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, so 40 by 34. Okay. Yikes. So 40, 40, 34, 40, 34. So there's 120. So 200. So WebPro says 200. We'll just put 200 in. It's probably 206, but we're going to put 200 in for now. And we'll actually call 911. What? Count by 2s and 3s. 188. All right, we're going to do this. Did you really count them, Ken Vicker? I hope not. But thank you if you did. All right, so that's that one. And that's the big window left, 20, green squares where it starts, done. I'm seeing issues coming later with this one. Yeah, I'll bet. Well, this one is wired and installed, so we're going to have, whatever issues come up, we're going to have to resolve them with software because that was a pain. I'm not doing that again. All right, so now that's our second line. We're going to call this the big windows middle. Okay. And it's going to be, what did we say? These were 34, 34, 34. So 60, 72, and 80. So 72 and 80. 186. Okay, great. Thank you. I'll go back and change that to 186. In this case, how many? 3 times 30, 3 times 30, was it 33? Okay. 3 times 33. 99. And 2 times 40 is 80. 179. Save that. We're going to do the big window. Change this one. This is going to be, I'll have to do it on there. Get all done with this 2D, then do it again in the 3D model. Oh, no, gosh. Okay, so that's that one. And now we're going to do our third polyline. Third polyline starts here, goes here, 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 there. All right. Makes my eyes swivel around in my head. Is this the same as the last one? It is. Good job. Good job. Good job. It's so much more fun with a gang doing it instead of just me by myself. All right. Big windows. Right. And 179. Okay. Save that guy. And then the last one is just going to be this bottom line going across here. And then up there. Okay. And that one's going to be, we're going to call it big window. Lower right corner. Okay. And it's going to be 70, whatever, 73, did we decide? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to custom this one. Thank you very much, Ken. All right. So that one's going to be a custom model. That one's going to be tricky. We saw that coming. This poly stuff is going to be a mess when trying to put anything on it. We'll fix it, though. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We will fix it. It was so much better, though, than the idea of putting lights inside each one of those windows and connecting them all up separately. Oh, this is going to be much, much better. Much, much better. All right. Now I have this line I have already up here. So for right now, we're going to do this. Just draw that line across there. I don't know for sure how many it is, but we're going to say it's 200. And we're going to call it the roof line upper. Okay, save that. Right now, that's where it starts. I'm going to, when I put the new ones up, I'm going to go across it. I missed it. What 12-volt pixels am I using, Andrew? Most of the pixels that I'm using are ones from RGB Man, which are Paul Zhang pixels. That's all I know about them. These ones up here right now, actually, though, the ones that are in this line, this particular line, which are already installed, are older. They're older. I don't know what I got them just Amazon probably. I'm going to do a polyline here. And I'm going to go up the ridge with it. This is going to be tricky. Now tell me, fellas, like when we do, oh, I guess it won't matter on those. So I'll just have to do, you just have to add them up, right? So this polyline is going to be roof line lower and right ridge. Okay. And then I'll just have to add them up. I know that this along the bottom there's, let's see, there's probably 36. No, times 4, 120, 154 plus at least 100. So we're going to say 254. I don't know for sure how many it is. We'll have to count them. But what if the spacing is different? Okay, see you, Nick. Fine. Custom model allows you to change the start points. We'll be fine. Okay. if that is the upper roof line, where is the lower roof line? This is the lower roof line. The ridge is at the top. That's the ridge, the upper ridge. So roof line is, to me, is this thing, and the upper is the ridge. So what if I have a different spacing here than I have there? Is there a way to break that down? Like inside this model of this line? You can't set how many per segment. You can't, huh? Okay. Well, it's going to be messed up then until I get it fixed. Oh, you can. Oh. That makes all the difference. Whether you can or can't. That makes all the difference. All right. There's going to be a line crossed here. This is the kitchen overhang. And I don't know for sure how many are going to be there. It's probably actually about 50, so we'll just leave it. We'll leave that as 50. And the start line, I was going to put the start line over here, the start of it. Right now, the start line's over here, so I guess we'll leave that as the start line right there. These are actually 5-volt pixels right now, so Induals, no, you can or no, you can't. Don't. All right. And then the roof ridge, we're going to do a polyline for the roof ridge. This is going to be a lot. This is going to be tricky, but I mean, when I actually install this, whoo, mama. So I did a quick measure on these. Roof ridge upper. And this is like 24 feet. So 24 feet. I mean, that's where I got the, what did I say? 36. Yeah, 36 times 4. 120 plus another 24. Oh, 144. Oh, well, whatever. So, but then 144 and 144 is going to be 288. And then something across the middle there was saying 3. So we're going to say 488. We'll fix it later. But that's something like that. Can type or can't? Power injection points. Great question, Steve. I am anticipating not needing a lot. With 12-volt lights, in most cases, I'm not going to turn up the brightness very high. This one here, I would probably need power injection. So where I will power inject would be somewhere up here, somewhere about halfway. So we'll see. You know, depends on where the junction points are exactly, but I will power inject up here somewhere along the top. Right there, check the box for individual segments. Individual start chains. Alternate drop nodes, individual segments. Starting over. You do mean starting over. Check the box for individual segments. Not starring over? Oh, did I say star? Did I type starring over in the title? Did I do that really? Whoops. Starring. I don't know what's going on. Now, let's talk about these for a minute. We'll just do these couple of things and then we'll end for tonight. So, well, actually, let's just do the one more thing. Just the one more thing. This. So, I've got those railings, right? Let's look at those railings. Let's look at that picture again. Couldn't you power inject from the other end? Yes, you could. But, Gary, you could, except the real problem with power injecting from this end is getting to it. Getting in there. Like this point on that roof is really hard. That is probably the least accessible point anywhere on this house. I don't have a good picture of it. It's the least accessible point anywhere on the house. So it's, 2 stories up. There's the deck is what you have to put the ladder on. And what I noticed yesterday was the deck does not grip the ladder feet very well. So I'm like up here, you can see the ladder marks. You can see some of these ladder marks because like I put the thing up there, put the big old leaning ladder up there, and then I'd crawl up on it. I'd get up to the top and it'd start to slide. Freaking thing starts to slide and like make these black marks on the. Whew. Only have to get to an injection point once, not like a controller. That's true. That is true. But either way, I would rather access that point, like by getting up, up here where I can stand and crouch down and splice it in, than down there where I'd have to stand up and do it on a ladder. Who's footing your ladder? Yeah, exactly. Nobody. I thought about buying one years ago, Steve, but if I was not still doing my full-time job, and if like my full-time job was putting up lights for people, then I totally would buy a cherry picker. Absolutely, positively, no doubt. But that's not my full-time job. I don't know that it ever will be, because by the time it would potentially be my full-time job to install lights for people, I would be too old to even want to get up in a cherry picker. So jet boots. Oh, yeah. Is the deck of plastic? Yes, it is, Tanner. Yeah. 2-inch screws in the foot plate. What happened was eventually it leaned up against these rails. It just slid down to the point that it hit these rails, and then it stayed. It's bad. It'll be interesting to see. I'll bet you, because I had like the title is fixed. Thank you very much, sir. Good enough. Thank you for pointing that out. Whoever said that I misspelled that, I'm sorry. I'll always remember my dad's final. It's like the last time he got up on the roof. Oh dear. You know what? The last thing I'm going to put on this list, we just to wrap up, on that list of lessons learned, I'm going to put prepare for xLights, meaning when you do your stuff, do it in a way that makes it so it will be easy for you to expand to a bigger show. All right. I think that's it. Oh, I was going to talk about these railings. And then we'll sign off. Okay. So these railings, what do you guys think about making that a matrix? That was my initial plan, because I thought, that would be kind of cool as far as like rendering simplicity. You guys tell me. I felt like if we make it a matrix, that would work pretty well. It's actually bigger than. It actually goes way the frick over here. But see, I didn't want to put it behind the sphere or the tree. But now that I trimmed up the tree so much, you can actually see it pretty good from quite a ways. There's a barbecue there. I don't want to put next to the barbecue. I don't know. Anyways, let's just, I'm not sure. We'll just do it like this again. So if you do like a matrix and then you say, I'm going to call this the deck railing matrix. What do you guys think? You would? Matrix seems like a good use for that. Yes. But it's just kind of a funky thing, right? So how many strings am I going to have? I don't remember. Oh, how many strings will I have? I will have, I don't know for sure how many strings I'm going to have. Let's say 20. And then how many nodes per string? 22. So something like that. The curved parts would make it hard. It'll be a little funny with the curved parts. Turtle says no. Uh-oh. What's the matter? I want to hear what Turtle says no about. How many connections to the controller? One. That was my plan. Strings equals ports. Oh. Oh. The high matrix percentage compared to everything else. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you, Tanner, because at some point you like, having like if your garage door and every window and all these things are all a matrix, like at some point you're just like, it's just a TV screen on the outside of your house. So I like having just the outline of the house and then the lights, right? For a lot of it. I just felt like that for this particular thing might be a good way to model it. Could use the black version of the string and spiral them around. Nodes per string is how high and how wide. Nodes per string. Total number of pixels per string. Okay, and then strands per string. Strands is up and down. Okay. Strands is up and down. Oh boy. Nodes per string is how many high times wide. Oh, that's the total number. So if it's 22 times 22, what's that? I'm just going to say 400. But why does it look so funny? Oh, there we go. Okay. So that's my thinking. That's my thinking, is that it spreads out like that. This is completely up in the air. We could make this a line. But this is what I was thinking it would be. So you wouldn't be, it's not going to be, so Tanner, to your point, which I agree with, they're going to be the verticals, the vertical lines of the matrix for this are going to be 5 inches apart. The pixels or the things here are going to be like 20 millimeters apart. The lights will be 20 millimeters horizontal, like that, vertical, and then spread out horizontally. There'll be 5 inches in between. So that'll work. Okay. And I'll have to decide, why does it doesn't like that? Why does it not like that? Why is it not like this? Must divide into the nodes and strings evenly. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. Would matrix effects look goofy in the vert and horizontal are such a high aspect ratio? They would if we were trying to display a picture or a video, but I'm only going to use it to display so if we go to the sequencer and now we say, new sequence, should put all our models over here, right? Let me grab this thing. How do I bring that over here? So then if we zoom in on this, and let's just take that. Why is this thing, why can I never move this the way I want it? I can't ever get this thing to slide the way I want it. So let's just focus in on this thing, which we decided was the deck railing matrix. So if we put a video on there, a movie on there, it would look horrible, right? But if we put something like this on there, it would still look kind of cool. That's my point. Right? That would still look okay. Or if you put even better, something like this maybe, right? That would look cool as heck, right? So that would still look cool. Oh, it's really slow. That's all. Right? So that's my point. Would you use these like pixel poles or pixel stakes in a sequence and not a video or text? However, text might work. Yes. Yes. Audio EQ bars. That would be sweet, right? That would be sweet. So, anyways, I am having a blast, guys. I'm having so much fun. I have rediscovered my passion for pixels and for the shows, and we're hitting it hard. You could see how much work I got done in one day yesterday, and I might not even take a nap today. I might just get back out there and keep working on it today. Old TV test pattern. Oh yeah, right. The old TV test pattern. So I'm gonna get out there and do some more stuff today, and yeah, start building a sequence. Oh, the controller. We didn't get to talk about the controller very much, but I talked to the Pixel Head some. Because I've got some 5-volt lights and some 12-volt lights, I'm gonna mix those in the controller. So I will have a 5-volt controller and a 12-volt controller. Oh, and I didn't even get through the whole part about the layout. You know, the whole part about this, now you can go, if I go to my controller, I didn't even add one. Ethernet, we're going to do a longer stream than normal today. Name is going to be the backyard. And the vendor, this is a Culp. And the model is a K30. Let's just go down here and select it off the list. It's a 32, K32. Okay. The IP address, I do know it. It's here somewhere. It's right there, 62. So I do know the IP address. 192.168.1.62. And there you go. So I'm going to save that. And then I can go to visualize. And now I can just start dragging stuff over. Right? And start whatever. And what I'll probably do, I'm going to keep, because the way that this is, loving it, seeing the doc go all out. Yay, Jor, I made it, right? It's taken me like 3 years, maybe 4, but I made it. I'm here. We're doing it. We're doing it. Dig delivery situation. Thank you very much, Sir Goodenough. Yes. So fun stuff with Digi Unos and quads. We've been out, but and we were waiting for a C shipment, and then anyways. Quindor talked to me on Friday. He cracked the whip on the factory, and they took everything that they were going to send by ship, which they still hadn't shipped, and were putting it on a plane. So, and he already gave me the DHL tracking number, and that was Friday. So hopefully they actually got it in, you know, in the hands of DHL on Friday. And typically, DHL is pretty fast. So I completely expect that we will have everything back in stock. Well, we won't have ESP32s of the different varieties yet, but we will have like Digi Unos and quads of all the different types, just not the extra spare ESP32s that you can swap them out. But we will have by the end of this week. End of this week, we will have it. Okay. We will have everything in stock. Thank you, Sir Goodenough, for the reminder. So anyways, now this is so much fun. All I got to do is go over here and say like, I'm going to separate this because it's a K32. We'll talk about this next time too. Because it's K32, I can have half of my ports be 5 volts and half of my ports be 12 volts. Beauty, right? Quite funny. You're the one that made all of us build shows in the first place. That's what I keep hearing, George. That's what I keep hearing. So here we are. We've come full circle. A marathon soldering session in your future. Yes, that's right. I have a lot of these that I'm going to spend a lot of time watching football and soldering. Okay. All right. Let's call up the kids. Oh, I don't even have, I'm just going to sign off by myself because I don't even know. I don't have a button to sign off anymore. I haven't fixed it. I don't know my password for Home Assistant right now, so I'm locked out. So I'll just sign off by myself. If you, please, if you have Amazon Prime, and I know Sir Goodenough's really good about putting this in there. I don't personally plug it nearly as much as I do because I don't feel like asking. I don't feel like I should say. I have a hard time asking for support in any way, but thank you for all of your support. If you have Amazon Prime, you can go to Twitch. You can subscribe for free. If you want to support us on Patreon, we've got all the new Patreon stuff. All right. Thank you very much. WebProv. What a guy. I think it'll actually say something out loud if you had it say something out loud. At least that used to work. um, anyways, we're doing a good job. Thanks to the Pixel Heads for sticking with me, all you guys for sticking with me when I was not posting much or doing much of anything worth anything. Big thanks to John for getting me back excited about doing stuff again, and for the Sphere. The Sphere has reinvigorated me, so we're having a great time. So I'm giving it a minute to see if it'll list that thing out loud. But anyways, and what are we fixing today is Sir Goodenough's channel. You can check him out. And I know DrZzs has been making some videos. So good things are happening. Good things are happening all over. That's all for now. As always, thanks for watching. I mean that sincerely. Till next time, adios.